right, folks, I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country. I've got a gift request from MontaukEd. Ed, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for this. I hope it's not too cold down there in North Carolina. It's a little chilly up here in Jersey. I just got back from teaching yoga, but it was 24 degrees. I taught indoors, but I wore my flip-flops to class. But I hope you're doing well down there. Tim McGraw's Grown Men Don't Cry. That's generally true, but we do cry over some things. I mean, there are some things that hit us pretty hard, too. So one thing I say is that everybody still has that 5-year-old's heart beating in them. And when something just hurts bad, you can't not but cry. But I don't know how Tim's going to develop this. I don't know the song. It's a true reaction. So let's see what Tim's got for us. Grown Men Don't Cry. I love titles like that because there's going to be a twist.
I pulled into the shopping center and saw a little boy wrapped around the legs of his mother. Like ice cream melting, they embraced. Years of bad decisions running down her face. All morning I'd been thinking my life's so hard, and they wore everything they owned, living in a car. I wanted to tell them it would be okay, but I just got in my Suburban and I drove away. I don't know why they say grown men don't cry. I don't know why they say grown men don't cry. Keep having this dream about my old man. I'm 10 years old and he's holding my hand.
It's a funny thing about Tim McGraw. I have his father's autograph back when I was in Little League, and his father, I think, was playing for the Phillies. I don't think he played for the Mets for a year either, but he was one of the guest speakers at my Little League banquet, and I got Tug McGraw's autograph. I still have it.
We're talking on the front porch, watching the sun go down, but it was just a dream. He was a slave to his job and he couldn't be around. So many things I want to say to him, but I just placed a rose on his grave and I talked to the wind. And I don't know why they say grown men don't cry. I don't know why they say grown men don't cry, don't cry.
Orchestral. Interesting composition.
I'm sitting here with my kids and my wife and everything that I hold dear in my life. Nice. We say grace and thank the Lord. Got so much to be thankful for. Then it's up the stairs and off to bed, and my little girl says, I haven't had my story yet. And everything weighing on my mind disappears just like that when she lifts her head off her pillow and says, I love you, Dad. I don't know why they say grown men don't cry. I don't know why they say grown men don't cry.
Two different tears.
And I don't know why they say grown men don't cry. I don't know why they say grown men don't cry, don't cry.
There were two different tears there. Tears of compassionate sadness when he saw that the mother and the child were living out of their car while he got in his Suburban and went home. And I don't believe in feeling guilty about that. What I do think maybe should prick your conscience is if you can make someone else's life better and you don't. And I don't mean giving away everything you have, but I mean in some way. And there are only so many burdens you can take on in this world because there's poverty, there's hardship everywhere you look. But, you know, it made him cry just knowing that that's what they were living with. And he went home, had like the ideal, that's how it was depicted, ideal life. But then when his daughter said, "Daddy, I love you," and he had all these burdens on his mind, and that made him cry. And it's like, yeah, there are two different tears. One was sadness for these people. It's really like heartbreak in a sense of how hard it is for some people in the world. And the other is just the abject beauty that he got to live with when his daughter said, "Daddy, I love you." She lifts her head from the pillow and says, "I love you." And like, yeah, I mean, that'll make you cry, right? So, it was an interesting composition. I mean, they had like that driving Nashville drum beat going on in it. But it wasn't really a drum loop, but they had the orchestra behind it. And I can almost picture him just, you know, how some musicians will do a performance with an orchestra, legit 60-piece orchestra or something. You know, Frank Zappa did that decades ago. But yeah, I could almost see when I hear like all those stringed instruments. I don't want to call them fiddles because they're really violins, which is the same instrument basically, but the genre kind of tells you what you're going to call it. And this wasn't Charlie Daniels fiddle. This was violin and these very orchestrated phrases and such, just to like get you wafting along. So there was a contrast between the drum beat moving and at times the way Tim would sing with a certain assertiveness or not aggressive in a negative way, but just emphatic. But the orchestra just sort of had this air-like quality to it. So there was a conflict within it. And I think that was partly designed. The tears of one sort were sad tears. The tears of the other sort were elation tears from his daughter. So maybe that's what the instrumentation was designed to depict. Maybe the producer had that in mind. I don't understand all about that nature of the business, but I do know it's kind of by committee. But a producer is the one that really is the driving force behind what he or she wants to see in a given song. So, yeah, I mean, you hear the word suburban in relation to a vehicle, and you're like, oh my God, that thing is like 8 miles to the gallon, and it's huge. You call it a luxury? Most folks would say it's an excessive vehicle. And so that's why that was chosen in this. I'm not saying it is an excessive vehicle. If you got 6 kids, it's not an excessive vehicle. You might need an RV if you have that many kids. So it's context specific. But when you say that, yeah, he's going home, got all this room in the vehicle to himself, and the kid's got his arms wrapped around his mother's leg in the mall, but they're living out of their car, and you're like, yikes. All right, Ed, I'm going to rate this song. This is just a song of humanity, partial humility. It just depicts sometimes the human condition. And it's easy to find fault. It's almost human nature to find fault. Like you could find fault with the character Tim is singing about himself in this. The guy driving the Suburban has the perfect wife and all, but there's no fault in that. It's good. We strive for that. We want to have, if you're a man, you want to have a wife who's happy, who's there, the kids who love you, the home, the creature comforts. You want to have those. We strive for those. So you shouldn't feel guilty for having that. And but on the other hand, the way the guilt might come into it is if you do have the means to help somebody, even if it's just buying the woman, just giving her $100 or filling her tank with gas or doing something in the moment if it's within your ability. and you don't, that's reprehensible, in my opinion. I'm more like a private side giver. The government has its place in doing certain things, but I think that people privately, really, if we step up more often, certainly a lot of people's lives would be a lot better. And just if we look out for the needs of others and help once in a while, that can make a big difference in their lives. But anyway, this song, obviously, as MontaukEd songs always do, get me going philosophically, psychologically, sociologically, all that. So, all right, I'm going to rate this one. And the number that popped into my head was an 8.8. And it really was on the strength of the depiction of the two different types of tears. One on behalf of someone's sadness, the other one on behalf of your own joy with your child. And I like how that was brought out. The instrumentation was just okay, but I like the lyrics in this. So, all right, folks, hope you enjoyed that. Ed, thank you, my friend. Stay warm if that cold spell's found it your way. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.